If today you were to go to any subreddit about men's dating advice, or any YouTube channel, Instagram, TikTok, any place online where men are talking about dating advice, you would see a pattern. You would see a bunch of guys online posting the same type of post almost every day, or leaving the same type of comment. And so what is the pattern? The pattern is this. You would see a bunch of men on there that go on and say, I have tried everything. I've improved my style. I followed this coach for 2 years and did everything he said. I, took an online course about flirting or cold approach, right? And nothing I've done has improved the results I'm getting with women. And therefore, I'm so miserable. I'm so sick of the cold looks when I approach. I'm sick of getting ghosted after dates. I'm sick of girls not texting me back. I'm sick of the pain and rejection and humiliation and hits to my ego. I think I'm just going to give up. What should I do? Is there anything I can do to get unstuck? And so, out of curiosity, I've looked into this, right? I've gone to these guys, their profiles. I've responded to their comments. I've encouraged them to join my free Skool community and DM me. I've said, hey, send me screenshots of your dating profile, of your Instagram. Like, tell me about your last 5 approaches. Like, what did you do? Just to get a sense of what's going on here, why these guys are stuck, and to see if there's a pattern. And absolutely, there's a pattern. From doing the research here and talking to these guys, 3 things have come up almost every single time across the board. So in this video, I want to talk about what those 3 things are. If you're one of these guys that feels like he's tried everything, and for some reason, nothing is getting you unstuck, well, let's figure out if maybe it's one of these 3 things. And really quick, in case you don't know who I am, my name is KJ Harlow. I'm a men's dating and attraction coach. I have over 500 men in my free and paid coaching communities on Skool. I have one-on-one clients from all around the US, and I also have online courses that I've sold to men around the world. And my goal, my primary focus, is to be a positive force for men in dating and relationships. Because look, I get it. It is hard out there right now for guys in the dating world, okay? The problem is that most of the advice out there has really taken a turn for this very toxic, negative, pessimistic view of women, of dating, of relationships, okay? And I get it. I understand why it's gone that way. But, what I want to do is show good-hearted men how to attract high-quality women without losing who they are. It can be done. I'll prove it to you. Let's dive into the video. So the first thing here that I think is keeping men stuck, I actually noticed it with a one-on-one client of mine out of San Francisco, okay? And this guy was pretty moderate into dating advice for men by the time he found me. And he actually found me through TikTok. But he had done literally hundreds of cold approaches. He had done an entire online dating course program. And for some reason, he was still really stuck. And what I found was really interesting, it stood out to me right away, was, we would meet once a week for an hour. And almost every time I talked to him after a weekend out with friends, he would spend some time venting about the people in his social circle. And I quickly identified something that was really holding this guy back. And after talking to other guys about this, it seems to be one of the patterns here, which is that they don't have men in their life who are achieving the level of success with women that they themselves want to achieve, and who B, can talk them through their own internal limiting beliefs, okay? We all have our own biases, especially about ourselves. And a lot of this is rooted in childhood trauma or experiences in our youth, maybe high school, right? And what happens is over time, because we've experienced the same thing so many times, we begin to believe that that's just how it always will be for us. What happens is if you get stuck in that mode, well, then it doesn't matter what improvements you make. It doesn't, because no matter how much you improve your style or your game or everything else, in the back of your head, you're always going to have that doubt, that insecurity, that belief about why you can't get girls, that belief about how girls just don't like you. It's a you problem, right? It's an unfixable you problem, by the way. It's kind of what that voice in the back of your head will tell you. And so what I've noticed with one-on-one clients is that as we go through these sessions, a lot of what we talk about is not necessarily related to game. It's not always related to flirting and teasing or how to lead a first date. A lot of it is them saying like crazy shit that they believe about themselves or about the dating landscape. And then I have to challenge them on that and walk them through it. And then all of a sudden, you see the light bulb go off. And it's like this weight has been lifted off their shoulders. It's like all of a sudden they're smiling and they're glowing because they're like, oh my gosh, now I see it. Now I see how I was thinking and how that was holding me back. Now I see how that belief was incorrect. And you don't get that by yourself. You just don't. So if you're out there and you're trying to do all this stuff by yourself and you don't have any healthy friendships with other men that can walk you through how they achieve this level of success with women or how they've gotten over their own limiting beliefs, like guys, you have to have people in your life like that. So that would be the first thing that I see across the board with these guys that feel really stuck, that nothing is working, is they don't have men, like good influential men in their life that are doing the thing they want to do and that can help challenge them on their own internal limiting beliefs. Okay, the second thing that I've noticed almost across the board with these guys, they always say that they've already improved their style and appearance. And they really believe that when they say it. But then you go to their profile or you say, hey, send me screenshots of your dating profile, whatever. Like I'll click and I'll just go to their Instagram or, if it's on Facebook or TikTok, whatever, right? And then you see their pictures and you're like, dude, no, like you still have a long way to go in terms of improving your style and your overall appearance. It's not that you're ugly. You might believe that about yourself, but you're not ugly. Your style and appearance, your look is just not good. The types of pictures that you're using on your profiles are just not good, right? And maybe you don't have anyone to tell you that. And so, again, I think there's two reasons why this happens. The first is that they just have a low sense of self-awareness, right? Like they just actually don't understand what the outfit they're wearing is communicating to other people about what kind of person they are. They're not actually aware of how other people are perceiving them, right? What their look is saying about them. Or the second thing that I've noticed, and this is more what I've noticed with one-on-one clients when I try to kind of coach them through style changes, is that they don't believe that they can actually pull off the improved look. They don't have the confidence to do it. And more than just the confidence is there's a fear of judgment from other people they know that if they try wearing this new type of outfit or this new haircut or grooming their facial hair differently, right? Or these shoes that they've never tried on before, right? That people they know will judge them and think that they're weird for trying to improve themselves, okay? So you have the lack of self-awareness, and then you also have there's a lack of confidence in trying the new look, or there's a fear that people will judge them for trying a new look. Again, this is why it's important to have men in your life that can challenge you on these beliefs. I'll show you guys really quick. This is an example of a guy that I saw in a Facebook group about men's dating. And he posted saying, hey, I'm all pumped, I got these new dating profile pictures done by a professional, but, for some reason, I'm still not getting a lot of matches. And it's really making me feel discouraged. I feel like there's nothing else I can do. But then you look at these pictures and you're like, gosh, man, no wonder. And look, hey, if you're this guy out there, I'm not trying to offend you here, not trying to put you on blast. This is free game right here, okay? But you look at these pictures, or at least I look at these pictures, and what I see is all of these photos look like a senior picture that you would take, have a professional take for the high school yearbook, okay? All of these kind of goofy poses. You got the one up against the tree with the hand on the knee. And then, you have the one where you're standing there holding a tennis racket against your chest. And then also, again, not trying to be offensive here, but the facial expression, especially in this main one, which is probably the best one with the black shirt, it just kind of looks like you did a dookie in your pants. If I'm being honest, right? It's hard. This is touchy stuff, right? Especially when you're talking about guys that already are really down on themselves. But damn, if you don't have someone being honest with you, you're never going to improve, okay? So, just looking at these pictures here, this is a great example of what I mean by low self-awareness, okay? These are not the kind of pictures that a woman wants to see on a dating profile. These pictures, any girl that's, even sort of good looking. Any decent looking girl would see that and be like, oh man, this guy's kind of a goofball at best. Okay. And she's going to swipe away. So this is just an example of what I mean about, guys that say they've improved their style and their wardrobe and they really haven't. And once again, it's good to have men in your life that can help you improve it with this. And I know guys that struggle in dating, a lot of them don't have good social circles. And if that's you, even if it's not me, this is not meant to be a plug. This is free advice that I hope will help you improve. If that's you, if you don't have guys in your life or people in your life that are giving you honest feedback to help you improve, go get a coach, man. Go get a coach. Trust me, it'll be worth its weight in gold. All right, let's move on. The third thing that I've noticed with men who are, long-term stuck with women that have tried everything and they can't get unstuck. And this is almost across the board, guys, is that you're white knuckling the entire dating process, right? It's like you're grabbing onto the steering wheel, hoping that you don't crash. It's like if you ever lived in a snowy place and you're driving on like an icy highway and you're gripping the steering wheel so tight and you're super rigid and you're super stiff and like you have there's an inability to relax, okay? It'd almost be like, someone trying to dance that's super rigid, almost like, like a robot, okay? Like girls pick up on that stuff. You care too much. You're trying too hard. Your ego is too involved. You're too attached to the end result. And so what happens when you're stuck in this is you're actually not observing the things that are working and not working. And what I mean by that is you could go and do 20 approaches and go talk to all these girls. And you're so attached to the result, your ego is so involved, it feels so personal to you, and you care so much that you're coming off as desperate, and like women have a sixth sense for that stuff. But then the other thing that's even worse is that you're not paying attention to what you actually did that worked or didn't work. And so you'll continue to repeat the same thing that's not working over and over again, right? I used to do this with golf. I talk about this in my flirting ebook, and guys always tell me that it's an analogy that really stood out to them, so I'll use it here, which is that when I started golfing, I watched some YouTube videos and I didn't really know what I was doing. This is like 5-6 years ago, and I would go to the driving range and I would hit a bucket of balls, and I would hit like 100 balls a week, and my swing would just never improve. But I was kind of under the impression that if I just did this more, that I would get better. But that's not the way the golf swing works. You either do it the right way or you don't do it the right way. And it actually makes it worse to keep doing it the wrong way because you build muscle memory for an incorrect golf swing. Okay? Eventually I got so frustrated, I wanted to quit golf altogether, and I just said, fuck it, you know what? I'm going to cough up the dough and I'm going to go get some private lessons with a golf instructor. And this guy, within like 4 or 5 lessons, had my entire golf swing turned around. And he was able to actually show me, like me personally, what I was doing wrong and what I was doing right. I needed that outside perspective, okay? I could watch a million YouTube videos, and everyone has this piece of advice or this piece of advice, but then you're just putting together like a Frankenstein of a golf swing. Like you don't know what actually you're already doing right or already doing wrong, and which video and which piece of advice is actually applicable to you and your personal situation, because everyone is starting out from a different place, okay? So it's good to watch YouTube videos. It's good to take online dating courses. For guys that are like already halfway there, that stuff is actually really helpful, and sometimes it'll get them over the hump. If you're one of those guys who has been forever stuck, again, you got to find these men in your life that can help you because if you're sitting there white knuckling it and you're going through and you're doing this over and over again and nothing is getting better, what that tells me is that you have not been able to identify in yourself or in your game what's working and not working. And if you're not able to identify that over time, then you're unable to adjust. And so, what a lot of you guys probably do is you go out and you watch a video and then you're like, all right, I'm going to use this advice. And then you go out and you use that advice and you try it over and over again, and then it doesn't work. So then you come back to the computer and you watch a new video, and then you try that and it doesn't work. And then you've been doing this for years with little to no success, and you are just done. You're burnout, right? And then you post and you say, I've tried everything. I swear I've tried it all. But there's one thing you haven't tried. I'd almost guarantee it. You haven't tried getting a coach, or you haven't found a mentor in your own life. You haven't found another man that's doing what you want to do who can give you feedback on yourself, unbiased feedback, right? So let's just break it down again really quick. Quick review. You don't have men in your life that are giving you honest feedback and that are challenging your internal limiting beliefs. You think you've improved your style and your wardrobe, but you haven't, okay? And then the third thing is that you just care too much. You're trying too hard. You're white knuckling it. You're too rigid. And by nature of being so rigid and trying so hard, you reek of desperation. And then also you're unable to pay attention and notice what's working and not working and then adjust accordingly. Okay? These are the three things that I've seen across the board. And this is from reaching out to guys online that I see make these types of posts. This is from working with one-on-one clients from all around the US. Okay? Now look, guys, if this is you, click the link below. Join my free Skool community. Check it out. DM me. I'm happy to connect with you, and I want to see you improve, okay? And also, if you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, drop a comment. Let me know what you think. It helps the channel grow, and it helps more men like you see content like this. My name is KJ Harlow. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.